Very good afternoon from a sun-drenched Sydney Harbour for another day's racing of the 18-foot skiffs, brought to you by Sail Media. And we're out here. There's a lot of sunshine, but not much wind. We'll get to Dolly DeVola in a moment to talk about that. But today it's the third heat of the Club Championship and the sixth and final race of the sixth Spring Championship. And we'll have a look at the point scores a bit later with that. And but at the moment we're just out off Double Bay near Clark Island, and I'll say good afternoon to Dolly and tell us about this wind, Dol. There's not much of it, is there, at the moment?
Afternoon, shippers, afternoon, viewers. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, like you say, Pete, it's an absolutely stunning day on Sydney Harbour, but it might be a better day to be anchored up somewhere enjoying some lunch and refreshments, because the forecast sort of 12 hours ago was for a light westerly, but we had a little bit of a nor'easter an hour ago and things were looking a bit promising, but the breeze has now shifted around more to the east and has dropped in intensity. So looks like we might have a lightish race. Most of the boats in the park had the big rig in, so they've got the right rig in for the day, but there is a couple with small rig. I don't think they had time to change, but we've got a smallish incoming tide. Shouldn't have a lot of effect, but yeah, we'll see if this breeze can settle down and what we're going to get.
Well, thank you, Dole. At the moment, we've got 19 boats, a full fleet today. We'll be racing. There's a few changes and skippers and crews, so as the day goes on and before the start, we'll probably get through all those and bring you right up to date of who's racing with whom. As we say, good afternoon to you, Jimmy. You'll talk us through what we think will probably be the nor'east course, but as Dole said, maybe not.
Yeah, good afternoon, Shippo. Good afternoon, viewers. Yeah, we're sort of set up in the location for a nor'east course, which, but yeah, still no signals on the start boat, so I might delay on giving you the course because I don't have a crystal ball for you, unfortunately, Shippo.
Well, that's fair enough. Yeah, I didn't want to throw you right under the bus, but only halfway under the bus. So, yeah, it's very light at the moment, and we're just hovering around the start boat. So, what have we got today? Well, as I said, it's a Club Championship race, so it's a full course, no three boys. And we've got a few changes in the steering department. On Yandoo, we've got Jack McCartney is skippering Yandoo with one of his former crew from Tech 2, Charlie White, is crewing with Harry Smith. On Yandoo, stunning performance last week in that strong southerly. They were very, very outstanding and above the rest of the pack, really. Tom Needham, Fang Warren and Louis Brake. But Louis Brake's not here today. Pete Nicholson steps in his place, but Fang and Tom are there. And on Shore and Partners, no Keegan York. He's racing in the state titles for the 16-foot skiffs. So John Harris takes over there, former JJ champion in the early 2000s, along with Tom Anderson and George Morton. So they're the changes of skipper, really, and some other different crews on a few boats. But at the moment, it's a full list of 19 skiffs. And we're just waiting to see what the wind does. But while we're doing that, we'll say hello to a few of our regulars and a few new people that have joined. And greetings from San Francisco Bay. That's nice to hear from Mr. himself, whoever you are. But hello, Mr. himself. Ian Barnard's there. Now I see there's someone from the United Kingdom, a bit of royalty here. Although there must be the royalty in Ballarat, Chile Ballarat, from the Duchess of Cattershead, wherever that might be. But hello to you, Duchess. I hope you're doing the right thing down there. Someone was mentioning the rugby. You're not allowed to do that.
No, not today.
Not today. Only if you're an Englishman or an Irishman, you're allowed to do that. But we've got Craig Hughes from Perth is there.
Hello, Craig.
Yeah. Yankee Express. I think that's Dylan, related to Dylan, the Yankee Express. We've got to get to the bottom of that. Dylan, our excellent drone operator. And we've got Jono Whitty on the cameras today, stepping in for Piers Hasgard, who's on long service leave. But Jono, who raced a couple of weeks ago on Yandoo with great success. So nice to have you on board, along with Sam and Chits. So Steve D from a rainy Sunshine Beach, so it's raining up in Queensland. Got Julian and Fran from Vancouver. Rums and gins in hand. Should be good today. Steve Taylor, good morning from Southend-on-Sea, UK. It's raining, obviously. Well, I don't think it rained on your rugby team. They were very, very good at beating the All Blacks overnight at Twickenham. So we wait and we wait for the skiffs to come out, and they're slowly coming out. There's the Royal Oak. And what's this breeze done? Dol's got into the right a bit more, has it, perhaps?
Yeah, it's pretty much in the east now, and fairly soft. I can see off screen at the moment, Smeg has gone up towards Shark Island, and they're not really getting through the water too quickly up there. Bit of traffic up there too. We've got pretty big fleets coming out of Wallara today, but yeah, it's pretty soft at the moment. So we're just going to have to wait and see if this, once it settles into the east, it might pick up a little bit, but it's quite hot here in Sydney today, a little bit humid. So
a good day for powerboats, I think.
Let's hope they'll have lunch and go in, Shippo. But yeah, no, good to see Jack McCartney and John Harris, two former JJ winners, back on the skiffs and back helming again. And I also saw we've had two other winners in there, Julian Bethwaite and David Witt are both down to watch the skiffs today. So good to see them in the boat park as well.
So what do you got for us, Jimmy? You got any news at all you can share with us?
Just getting some comms off the start boat. They're trying to set up for a 045, so a compass bearing. But they're going to keep us posted. So just stand by, Shippo.
We've got our regular PRO, Hugh Lester. He's working with the 16s today. And I think we've got Greg Nixon on the start boat for the 18s. There's the view looking at
on screen there is the Scallywag tender with Mr. David Witt and Dave Gill Ewings. So two very accomplished skiff sailors that I had the privilege to sail with on the AAMI back in the day.
So
very famous look back at that. Was at Rottnest, wasn't it? Oh no.
Broome, I think you might be referring to, where we had a little disagreement about the course, and turns out I was right, but I was the one that got yelled at.
We're always right now, Dol, because you got the microphone.
That's right. Yeah, and I never miss a shift on the camera cat, I might add.
Paul Wyatt's watching his son Charlie aboard Yandoo with Jack McCartney and Harry Smith. He's watching up there at Noosa, so hello to you, Paul. I hope it's nice up there, but I think it's a bit wet. It's been a bit wet, but I hope you can be cheered up by having a good look at the race today, and hopefully the Yandoo boys will put in a good performance. There's Lazarus and Rag and Famish just coming out in this easterly now. It's probably east northeast, perhaps, maybe even right round to the east if they're thinking of...
Yeah, Jimmy's just pointing out up the harbour. It looks like it might be filling
into the northeast, doesn't it?
Into the northeast from up at Manly. So
still a little high on port. Yes. We look up there, aren't they? Yeah.
So hopefully that can make its way down to us.
Yeah, it's very hot, as you said, Dol. The air's very hot. It's a strange old nor'easter yesterday. It was belted in early and then it died away a bit. And I know the yachts had a ocean race up to Bird Island and return, and Master Lock Comanche covered that 80-odd mile course in under 6 hours. Came rocketing home at 25 knots plus to take line honours. URM, skippered by Marcus Ashley Jones, was the victor on corrected time. And I spoke to Michael Spees this morning. He was a former JJ winner. He raced his little boat that's 121 years old. They didn't finish till 3 this morning. He said they got up to 40 knots yesterday afternoon, so they got north. So
yeah, well, that storm came through about 4 o'clock, and I think that gave a few of them the smaller boats a fair belting, because I saw, Shippo, that Master Lock Comanche, I think, finished before any boat under sort of 40 feet had even got around the island. So,
well, they passed Speezy. They were coming south at Broken Bay, and Speezy was still going north. So, and he got to the island and was becalmed there for 3 hours, then becalmed at the heads coming home. So it's hard going in those little boats.
It's a long day.
Okay, well, back at the 18-footers, there's not much action, but you can see it's very light here. There's Ballard Properties, Beck Hancock. There's Shaw and Partners with, as we said, John Harris steering Shaw and Partners on behalf of Keegan York.
Yeah, good to see John. I know he's been back in Australia for a little while now after living in the US, I think he was.
Yeah, Chicago, yep. He lived in Chicago.
Good to have him back, but even better to see him back on an 18-footer. Fantastic. Like riding a bike. Jump on there and away he goes. Yeah. And the Shaw and Partners with the sign written Big Rig is looking fairly impressive. It certainly stands out.
Well, while we're waiting, Dol, I think we might bring up the point score for the final, going into the final race of the Spring Championship, sponsored by SIXT. That's the point score. It's based on handicaps. So the sponsor is doing pretty well. SIXT is first, Yandoo second, Club Marine equal second really, both on 23 points, then Fisher Paykel, Rag and Famish, Balmain, Ballard Properties, Vycobi, Lazarus and the Kitchen Maker. That's the top 10, and it's decided on handicap results today, and we would assume that Balmain would probably be in a very favourable position, I would think, to take that Spring Championship, SIXT favourable position to take the championship. But stranger things have happened. They've got to get round the course today without any mishaps, but we're waiting. There's Balmain going upwind. They've been there or thereabouts this year already. Young team with Henry Larkins, Tom Grimes and Finn Sprott today. That's the view looking towards Shark Island. And behind that is the lovely homes of Vaucluse and Rose Bay. But we're waiting here in Double Bay to see what the course is going to be. And we've got a course, Jimmy, we've got number one course up.
Yep, number one course. So we're going to be on the Northeast course, which is probably our second favourite course from the camera cab. But so yeah, we start down here near Clark Island, and the boats work their way up to the Bisha Buoy, just up near South Head, run down around Shark Island, back down to Clark, work their way back up to the Bisha Buoy, straight back down to Clark Island, work their way up the last time to the Bisha Buoy, run down around Shark Island and finish just off Double Bay right there.
Just like it's been for 100 years.
Well, they used to go around the Sound Pigs back in the day.
Yeah. Still in the same area though.
And we've got there's Jack McCartney on the Yandoo. They have a few skippers this year already, but it's nice to see Yandoo back out. So, Dol, a few people have asked how did the 16s get on yesterday? So while we're waiting here for the 18s to get underway, we give us a brief overview of the 16s. They had two races yesterday for their state titles and up at Manly. So who were the winners and who were the
Yeah, it was actually the regatta's being hosted by Middle Harbour 16-foot skiff club, but Middle Harbour and Manly do sail on in a very similar course area. So two short-ish, they weren't that short, windward lewards. The standout boat for the day who's leading on points is Imey/Barnabas Building with young Joel Beechel on the helm with Trent Barnabas and Rob Napper. Second place is Imagine Signage with Nathan Wilmot, Malcolm Page and Ricky Bridge. And Jimmy, I think third was Daniel Turner, is it, I think?
Yeah, either...
Overall?
Yeah, either Buckingham Marine or Bosca Builder.
No, Bosca's a little bit further back,
right.
I think.
So yeah, then it'd have to be Ruffy Turner.
But very, very tight, close racing we had yesterday. Michael's just giving me the point score so I can be sure to be sure.
Before you get to that, Dole, I'll just say that nor'easter that we thought was further up towards the heads has started to filter down here, and there's a bit more breeze coming, and it's in the nor'east. So I think that selection of course will be right, and there's quite a good puff right at the starting boat now. So I think we'll get underway in a reasonable breeze, probably 6 to 7 knots, even a little bit more.
Yeah, Jimmy was right, shippers, but Sarah Lee in Boscabild is in third place.
So that's Keegan's on that, isn't he?
He certainly
Sarah
is,
Lee?
Yeah.
Keegan York.
But it was one of those days where one mistake cost you 10 places. The racing was that close. It was very, very good to watch.
And how many boats, approximately?
60-something 16s.
Wow, that's great, isn't it?
And 31 or 32 13-foot skiffs, which is even better.
And where are the nationals for the 16s this year?
The nationals are at Belmont 16s.
Okay, the lovely Lake Macquarie.
Yeah, which is a great place to race skiffs. So, looking forward to that.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to a race today for the 18-footers, third heat of the club championship. Breeze is just starting to come back in from the nor'east. Its boats going up on port are quite high, and so it's a little bit probably left of nor'east, if anything, which is strange. Before we had east nor'easter, now it's north of northeast. But anyway, it's a breeze. We should get underway on time, I would think. Can't see any reason why we don't. The course is set, the number 1 nor'easterly course, the long beat up to the Beechel Boy at Sound Pigs.
Yeah, and these are great signs now. The breeze is round in a better direction. We do have that incoming tide, so we'll probably see the boats trying to get over to that left-hand side to stay out of the tide, but with a little bit of extra north in it, they won't be able to get too deep into the bays over there. Tend to run out of breeze, gets a bit patchy. So it'll certainly be a very tactical day today. Those who can get to the pressure and stay in the pressure will make the big gains. A real thinking man's breeze today, I think.
Okay, we'll say hello to Trevor Parker from Sydney in British Columbia. Hello to you, Trevor. Ralph Munro from Macleay Island, where the weather is miserable.
I think all of Queensland's copped it.
Yeah, they copped it overnight, I heard on the radio. Good morning from the UK, from Elliot Oldham. Hello to you, Elliot. Hope you're nice and warm over there, because we're certainly warm on Sydney Harbour. It's a beautiful afternoon. This nor'easterly breeze just starting to filter down on the race course, probably about 8 knots at maximum at the moment, but looking up towards the windward mark, there's breeze there. It's not hugely significant, so definitely a big sail day at the moment.
Yeah, we were just looking at the young crew on the Rag and Famish. They're a lighter crew with Ben Crawford, Ryan Ewings and Max Nern. Young, light, this breeze might suit them a bit today if they can keep their nose clean.
Well, as I said earlier, the performance of Yandoo in the very strong southerly last week was certainly impressive. As we're just hearing the hooter going on the committee boat, they really, it was a 3-boy race, but boy, they were outstanding all the way around the track. And if anyone's to beat them, they could be pretty close to certainly be on the podium, you would think, on the form that Yandoo has already shown this year. But anyway, it's a long course, this nor'easterly course. You've got to get your jibe angles right, especially going down the side of Shark Island. But there's not that much breeze today, so it shouldn't be that much of a graveyard as we see in a very strong northeasterly conditions. But the fleet, some of them have gone upwind and now coming back downwind to the starting area, and we hope to be underway with signals in a short while.
Yeah, with that little bit of extra north makes the picking the jibe angle in past Shark Island a little bit trickier too. So that'll keep them thinking, keeping them on their toes. But yeah, generally you need to jibe later, but still judge your angle to get down over the rocks, get up to the YA buoy, the Shark Island YA buoy. So that should make things a little bit more interesting, which is great. But as you said, Shippo, you know, super impressive from Yandoo. What have we got there on the Shore and Partners Spinnaker?
New Spinnaker with a big label on it. There's Ballard Properties coming down with on the right with the blue spinnaker.
I'm just questioning whether the Shore and Partners have got the right spinnaker on.
It looks quite odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. Anyway, we'll see how it affects them downwind. It does look a little bit different.
Had it confirmed from the back of the boat. It's small.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. It's not quite full hoist, and it looks quite short on the foot. If you compare it, you can see Balmain going past there now for a size comparison. That's a fairly
rather rookie error,
major rigging error that we're looking at there.
Well,
and I'm sure by now they've realised their error.
And that will hurt them going downwind in these light conditions, that's for sure. But anyway, we'll see if they can make up for it going upwind.
If I was them, I'd be sailing to the nearest rib support boat and asking them to race into their trailer and grab the other spinnaker. It takes no time to change it, but it takes a long time to get into the club and get it. So as long as they don't receive outside assistance within the 4-minute preparation, you can actually see a rib approaching them now. Be interesting to see if this rib now hightails it into the club.
Whether they've got time, that's the problem now, Dol, I think, but not too far off signals. Just watching SIXT go upwind.
It's going to be a long day with that guy.
It sure is. There's SIXT, the Spring Championship sponsor and race leader. That's Bradley's Head they're standing into in the distance, so not
young
that much.
Jacob Marks has been sailing very well, hasn't he, Shippo?
Yep.
You know, he's only 18 years old, and I know he's had a couple of seasons in the boat now, but it looks to me like this season he's really starting to be comfortable in the boat, and they've got it going pretty quick.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good races so far this year, and very impressive. Young crew. You just see them going up towards Bradley's Head, so it looks pretty much a genuine nor'easter. That's normally roughly the track they take towards Bradley's from the starting line. So he went just near the committee boat and went upwind. There's the boat they're going to have to beat today. Yandoo with Louis Brake. I think he's in the United States. We've got Harry Smith. We've got Pete Nicholson filling in for Louis Brake.
Pete was telling me he's trying to get a bit of time on the 18s to build up his fitness in preparation for the 12-foot skiff in Interdominions in January. So he's just trying to get as much sailing in as he can.
A pretty good boat to go sailing on today. The Yandoo boys are pretty slick operation. And we've got on board from the stormy San Diego, Lynn Reeves. Hello to you, Lynn. And we're just hearing the noise from the committee boat off to our port side. The 5 red flags are up. So we've just got under 5 minutes to go for the... So we start of... will be the third heat of the club championship and the final race of the spring handicap series, 6th and final race, and the point score being led by SIXT, who are the sponsors of the championship. Today they're racing for the Yandoo trophy, and the race day partner is SIXT. So we've got, what's the breeze, Dol? We've got about 8 knots, have we?
Yeah,
it's lucky to be that.
Sub 10, that's for sure. And it looks like it's got some pretty big holes in it looking up the bay. So, as I said, the eyes out of the boat looking to try and get to the pressure and then stay in it and link them up will be critical today, that's for sure.
And a good test for some of the young, lighter crews because it's a day that will suit them. Not too much breeze and reasonably steady in direction, just a longish course. So it'll be good to see if they can challenge the top boys. But as I said earlier, that Yandoo probably would go into this race as a clear favourite, but plenty of opportunity for some of the other boats to try and topple them from the top of the podium. So we're just under about 3.5 minutes to go. And the breeze, well, gee, I thought it might have materialised a bit more than it has when we saw that nor'easter come down the harbour, but it's still light, isn't it?
Yeah, it is still very light. We're just keeping an eye on Shaw and Partners. It looks like they are getting a change of spinnaker, but right now we're inside 4 minutes. They've got it on board in time, I think. So they should be okay. So that's a bit of a godsend for them, that's for sure, because it was going to be a very long day with the number 2 kite on.
It'll save their bacon. So coming up to 2 minutes 50. And what's the line look like? It's
pretty even, I think.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit committee boat favoured, perhaps. Maybe not.
Looks pretty even, but you know, when you're going to get over to Bradley's Head, normally you get up, if it's even, you get up towards the committee boat end so that you can be on the weather side when everyone has to tack over at Bradley. Yeah. So
it's ugly if you're pinned down to leeward and get to try and cross the fleet.
That's
We've
right.
seen a lot of boats come to grief by doing that, even if that end is favoured. You've just got that lane to come back on port. It's not always easy.
Yeah, and quite often they end up going too far into Bradley's, waiting to find a lane. So
and capsizing into windward. And
gets patchy.
Yeah, it's a horror spot up there. But there's Yandoo, Tom Needham, and behind them Fisher Paykel with Brett Van Munster, Tom Quigley and Logan Radford. Club Marine with Emma Rankin there. She did very well last week in those strong conditions with a reef in her mainsail, but certainly no reef today. It's full number 1 rig in about 7 knots of nor'easterly breeze, and we're approaching about a minute and a half to go for this club championship heat on the number 1 nor'easterly course. Boats just holding back a little now. The majority of the fleet up at the committee boat end.
Rag and Famish with a nice little move there, just coming in on port and finding somewhere to tack into and park up, and they've got plenty of room to leeward of them if they need to.
Okay, that's the 1 minute. Yeah, Rags down to leeward, as you said, Dole, and the rest are stacked up right at the committee boat end.
Looking very crowded.
It is. It is very crowded. It's going to get even more crowded with a few boats trying to get down from above the committee boat to try and find a hole to get in. Not much breeze, as you can see, with about 35 seconds to go. Rag and Famish has to pull away and go further down to leeward. Oh, yeah, big gaggle of boats up at the windward end. 25 seconds. Yeah, starting to start moving. Not much wind. Got even lighter, if anything. Probably 6 or 7 knots. Okay, 10 seconds now. The Rag's got the leeward end nicely locked away. And up at the windward end is Shaw and Partners. We're away. We are away in the 3rd heat of the club championship. And I think it's a clear start.
Yeah, definitely clean. They were well off.
And Rag and Famish got a terrific start down the leeward end. And Yandoo up at the windward end, and Shaw and Partners. Boxed in a bit is Yandoo. That's the fleet away on starboard now, and it's light. You know, they're not using three strings, that's for sure. Seen Shaw and Partners tack early.
Quite a bit of left shift just as we started there, which did bring the pin end into favour. And the boats on starboard tack are laying well under Bradley's Head. So the breeze has shifted around to the left.
Yeah, they're just struggling to get 3 strings here. It's that light. Yandoo's in all sorts of trouble in the middle of the line. Just tacked. It's very light. He got absolutely hemmed in there, Tom Needham. So he's got a bit of work to do to get back into this race, but it's very early stages, of course. Majority away on starboard. They're bow down on starboard, aren't they, Dole?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're well below Bradley's Head, and Tom Needham on that shift obviously wanted to get out of there, and even though he had to cop it a bit to get onto port tack, he wants to get out on that shift while the breeze is around to the left.
There's Rag and Famish, Ben Crawford, Ryan Ewings and Max Nern. They got the pin end and sailing very well now. They don't want to leave it too long to get out of there. They get too high up under Bradley's, they'll get clobbered with the breeze even lighter. But at the moment, in the middle of the track, it's light. It's probably 6 or 7 knots at maximum. But Rag and Famish doing a terrific job down the leeward end. And there's a few of the boats that have tacked early. Yandoo and Yandoo. Shaw and Partners also tacked early. Smeg still going on starboard. That's Ash Rooklyn.
There's also the risk of keep sailing this header and the breeze shifts back. They'll be coming back on a header. So
a few little puffs on the racetrack, but nothing significant and nothing stable really. And it's these boats that are going to the east on port, looking for a bit more wind. There's Smeg nicely positioned, just going ahead of Shaw and Partners. There's Balmain, Club Marine. We'll keep going, we'll see. There's Fisher Paykel. And then right in the left, already just tacked. We'll see him in a moment. Here he comes. That's SIXT. And there's Bradley's, and there is Rag and Famish. Nice bit of pressure there. Didn't go too far. That was sailed very well. That's them top of screen. Oh, and there's a boat still going in towards Bradley's. This is Ballard Properties. They're going to run out of wind. Going up and down in no wind. And that's what happens. They've gone too far into Bradley's. They're in the lead. And they're going to take a long time to come out of there. But anyway, it looks like at the moment that Rag and Famish has opened up a nice early lead.
yeah, they've got to some pressure and capitalised on that. The breeze hasn't shifted too badly out of their favour, so the big game that they've had is in pressure. So stepping out nicely on port and tack now, leaving the rest of the fleet to leeward of them.
Well, all the fleet now are going on port tack. Yandoo is right in on Point Piper, Lady Martin's Beach, right in the distance. So he's one tack and he's gone hard into the right. But the boats up here at the windward end are lifting quite high. So it's going to be a punishing one back for Yandoo at the moment. But it's all Rag and Famish. And SIXT. SIXT is probably in second spot. Balmain close to third. So certainly the left is paid here.
Yeah, Rag and Famish is head-to-head with the Captain Cook. It's like the Captain Cook cruise boat's doing them a favour.
Yeah,
he's doing them a favour here, Shippo. He's doing a hard favour.
He's doing Rag and Famish a great favour. He won't do SIXT much of a favour.
Or the rest of the whole rest of the fleet's going to suffer from that. So
there's the Captain Cook cruises passing to leeward of Rag and Famish. There he is. Oh, it's a little void of wind here for the Rag. Bit of waves. Oh, they look heavily sheeted on there, don't they? The Rag.
Yeah, the big cruise boats just suck the life out of the breeze there. There is a nice little puff coming to them in 5.
There's more breeze in the right, but it's looks as though it's still in the northeast. So the Rag just starting to get rumbling again. That's them top of screen. And the bottom of screen here is Balmain. They're probably second or third, but
Fisher
stepping out.
Fisher Paykel,
yeah.
Brett Van Munster.
Yeah, he's got a nice job. He went into the left also. So the leading group is the Rag and Famish, Fisher Paykel, SIXT, and Balmain. The rest are a long way back, even this early stage of this third championship race. And you can see it's very light.
Just off screen, Pete, we'll get them in shot. Ballard Properties, Beck Hancock, there she is now. She was becalmed when she tacked in near Bradley's head, but because she went the furthest left...
She's got a great left-hander now.
She certainly has, so she could come back into the equation.
Keep it going, Beck, with Cam Walker and Nick Drummond. Looking very nice, up high on the left off Bradley's. The leading group just starting to head a little bit as they get in towards Shark Island. Smeg's in the mix also. But that's the group there. Rag and Famish, SIXT, Fisher Paykel, Balmain, and then coming up on starboard is Smeg. and the rest have dropped right away. Although also off camera, Shaw and Partners has wriggled himself into the left also, and he's on a screaming left-hander. You'll see him in a moment. John Harris steering. There he is, Shaw and Partners. And above Shaw and Partners is Ballard Properties. These boats are in pressure and a left-hand shift. Boy, Ballard Properties, look at them. They are high on, with pressure. You can't beat that. High on pressure. And boats, the yachts further up are really in the left, aren't they there?
Breezes right round in the north.
Yeah.
Even nearly a touch of northwest right now. But it's really shifting around, so this could change pretty quickly. But
at the moment, there's your race leaders, Ballard Properties and Shaw and Partners. Boy, that changed quickly. Rag will still be in the mix. She's third, Rag and Famish, but here's Beck Hancock. Looking very smart, up to windward and in pressure and looking to go into some more pressure. So we're only 5 minutes or so after the start. A lot of places have changed. And I can tell you that Yandoo, after singing their praises, is way back. Way back.
You're well and truly put the commentator's curse on them, Shippo.
I absolutely buried them. Sorry about that, boys. Ballard, they look well set up. It's light. You can see the crew bending their knees to get in. No.
There also looks like there's more pressure on the left up this beat too, Pete, as well as better angle.
Yeah, a few puffs coming out from Clifton Gardens.
It's massive.
Right now.
We're looking what Dol's talking to. There's a yacht up there that's really high on starboard off Chowder Head.
But then, Shippo, if you look at Watson's Bay,
it's east.
There's a boat on starboard tack going in exactly the same direction on the other side of the harbour.
Well, it's going to be tricky. Well, that's what we like. Mix it all up, and that's what's happened at the moment. Lazarus, where's he positioned? He's done well. He likes these conditions. Tom Koenig, big sail, breeze, and there's Rag.
It's six behind.
Six coming back. Now here's John Harris and Shaw and Partners. Crew well forward in the boat, as you can see on the rack. So they're right in Rose Bay now. So it's how far do you go here, Dol, I guess is the key.
Well, like we were pointing out, at the moment it's east on the right-hand side of the harbour and it's northwest on the other side of the harbour. So you've got to take your pick. You don't want to go up the middle, that's for sure.
Well, they're certainly committed to the right-hand side. There's Balmain and Smeg also going across Rose Bay into the right. Has anyone got out to the left?
Yeah, I was just having a look. I can't think.
Got Rag and Famish and Fisher and Pikell have gone out to the left, and they're in that vein of pressure on that western channel there.
They've got the left-hand direction, the northwest.
There's a real puff where we are on the camera cat.
We always link them up, Shippo.
Yeah.
We're good at linking up
Jimmy can pick a shift, but those two boats, Rag and Famish and Fisher Paykel, are just going to come into that northwest breeze now.
And it's quite strong. It's probably 8 or 9. And they'd be, strange as I could say, that they'd all be laying the windward mark. They're so high. So that's going to hurt the boats on the right, you'd think.
Well,
who's going to win? Who's going to lose?
Meanwhile, Shaw and Partners have hooked on to the easterly shift.
Ballard's
coming
in the
out
middle.
of Rose Bay.
Ballard stopped a little bit. These are the two boats hard in the left. Smoky along.
Well, you can see Shaw and Partners top of screen there coming out in that bit of easterly style slant.
Yeah, there's the Shaw and Partners. Ballard's dropped off. She's in that no man's land between the easterly and the nor'wester. But here, I would say, at the moment, probably Shaw and Partners on the right-hand side of the track up off Steel Point. There she is.
Very high on starboard.
High on starboard. The boats that went to the left are starting to head as they come into the middle of the harbour. They were looking strong, Rag and Famish and Fisher Paykel. They're not that good now. They're starting to drift, bow down a little. And I think Shaw and Partners will probably still lead. Yep, that boats in the left are knocking and heading in towards Nielsen now, with pressure though.
This is the problem though, when you get into the middle of the harbour between the two breezes is where you suffer. So they're really needing to pick a side. But
would you go back into the left?
Well, right now I think not, because it looks like the yachts that are over on that side are
not
down.
As high.
That's right.
There's pressure there. There's no doubt about that. There's pressure in the left, but Shaw and Partners doing a fantastic job. They got into the left off Bradley's and held their height. Poor old Ballard Properties got dumped there. They were in the middle. They got left. Shaw and Partners came round their bow, but Shaw and Partners in a beautiful little easterly now going along Nielsen Park shore.
John Harris has won a number of titles in lots of different boats, and you don't win titles by being stupid. So he's jumped on the 18. He's back on the bike, and he's doing a fantastic job thus far.
Yeah, so Balmain would be second, Smeg third. Boy, this is changing positions up here.
And after this beat, they're going to be pretty happy to have that correct
that
spinnaker
big
in the
spinnaker,
boat.
yes.
Would have been pretty depressing to lead at the top mark and then put up a number 2 kite.
Well, that's Steel Point of the southwestern end of Nielsen Park, but here's the race leader. John Harris, Tom Anderson and George Morton. George down from Queensland. He's come down to pursue his sailing career. And they're doing a fine job.
Yeah, they look very comfortable in the boat, sailing the boat beautifully.
And the breeze looks in between where they are and the weather mark. It's sort of in the east, maybe a little bit north of east.
Pretty much had everything today but a southerly.
A full Nielsen Park beach. Why wouldn't it be on a day like today? It's a glorious day on the harbour. But probably it could do a little bit more wind, and but it's certainly tricky as we're looking at Rag and Famish, who were up really prominent early, but they're still in the first half dozen.
Smeg's done well in that last exchange too, shippers, Ash Rooklyn.
Yeah, they.
So I think he'd probably be in third spot right now.
So Balmain would be second. There's Rag, there's Fisher Paykel, and just there's Fisher Paykel, and to leeward of them the Rag. Yeah, I think we've got Smeg in third spot, as you said, Dol.
Yeah, and Beck Hancock in Ballard Property, although she got becalmed for a little while there again. She's got over to that right-hand side eventually. And
yeah, I think that's where you've got to be, obviously.
Done quite well.
Shaw and Partners in a nice stream of breeze coming out of Watson's Bay. That's where John Harris cut his teeth, racing out of the Vaucluse 12-footer club there. It's the Eastern Channel pile and Lang Point in the background. So he's about 200 or 300 yards short of the weather mark at the moment, but moving very nicely. This is the new boat for Keegan York. It's only its third day out, I think. And there's Ballard. There's two lady skippers, Emma Rankin in Club Marine and Beck Hancock in Ballard Properties. There's the boy off Nielsen Park, the yellow boy. There's more breeze coming down the track, Dol, as we get to the weather mark.
Yeah, it's nice up here at the Beecher Buoy now. They're
fresh as we've seen it, I think.
Full swing, most breeze we've seen all day, that's for sure.
Yeah, they'll be bending their backs now into it, and as Shaw and Partners getting close to the weather mark, probably 150 metres dead downwind at the moment. There they are.
I can tell you what's going to be tricky, Pete, is when we get down to the island, getting up past the island to the YA buoy. I don't think, unless there's a bit of a turn in the breeze down there in Rose Bay, I don't think they'll be carrying kites up the bay.
Tommy Anderson might be a little bit nervous to make sure he's put the tack on the tack, the clue on the clue, and the head on the halyard.
Might be back the front or upside down.
The famous Jeremy Sharp when I started with him, he made me sail all the way down from the Bisha Boy with the spinnaker upside down because I rigged it upside down.
Yeah, I might have
He made you pay, did he?
He made me pay.
I might have made one of my crew do that at some stage. Till everyone saw, now you can re-rig it. But quite an open mainsail.
It is, isn't it? Very
on
open.
the Shore and Partners.
Yeah.
So when the boys watch this back, I think they might
Open leach, yep.
they might up their Vang setting, I think.
Yeah. It's very open at the moment, but anyway,
It's
whatever they're
working for
doing,
them.
it's certainly doing a good job. They're not far off attack now. The breeze, the best we've seen at the weather mark, just a few little white caps, probably about 9-10 knots. Yeah, the sail's very open at the at the top, so they're probably only a few boat lengths to go before they tack, and they're going to have a nice lead over Balmain. Starting to have a look at it now.
Yeah, they can't be far off.
No, you think they would have overcooked this.
Yeah.
Here they go.
Maybe John wants to do as few tacks as possible today. Yeah, they're well overlaid.
Yeah, sheets are eased now. So they will, Shore and Partners will lead. John Harris steering with Balmain second. And a real group coming up on starboard. Balmain, Ballard Properties, Smeg, Club Marina there, and Lazarus. And our friends on Yandoo, if you're wondering, they're still in Clifton Gardens on the left-hand side of the track. Boy, we put the mocker on them today so far.
Nice job, Shippo.
Yeah, sorry, boy, Tom. Okay, Shore and Partners leads. There's a fairly big overlay there, but they're off to Shark Island in a sort of softish sort of east nor'easter. They're first.
I was expecting Henry Larkins to do well in this lighter air.
Okay.
So, and he's nicely in second now.
Yeah, they're close enough here. Shore and Partners just a bit of trouble getting the spinnaker set as they've got a problem there.
Jimmy, you put the curse on them. I reckon the leeward sheet's around the kite, is it?
It looks like it is, yeah.
Yep.
You had to say it, didn't you?
Well, when you're packing it on the water dollars, you know, it's one of those
Stuff
things.
can go wrong.
It's,
Balmain are around
you only
second.
do it once.
Has he got it? Oh.
They'll be when they drop this, they'll be able to re-rig it.
Okay, so Smeg, Ash Rooklands come up that eastern side into third spot. It's a very tight spinnaker run. We're seeing Shore and Partners getting headed, hardly getting up to Shark Island. Okay, so Smeg, third. Fourth is
Emma.
Club Marine. Then Tom Kunick in the Lazarus, followed by Ballard Properties, Beck Hancock. So that's Tom's around. Ballard Properties got a little bit far there. The other boats, we haven't seen a Rag and Famish. They got dumped a bit.
Yeah, they dropped out of it well and truly, didn't they?
Yandoo seem to be, every time you look at them, they're sailing on a header. Boy, oh boy.
As long as this race is, Shippo, that's a big deficit to
Isn't
make
it?
up.
Massive. And the boats running away with spinnaker are not laying to Shark Island. The breeze is headed them that much, but we're watching Ballard Properties go round.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, it'll almost be a one-tack beat to get up into Rose Bay.
Yep. Fisher Paykel next to go round. It's Brett Van Munster. Then the next will be SIXT and Rag and Famish. So it's Shore and Partners leading from Balmain, Smeg, Club Marine, Lazarus, Ballard Properties, Fisher Paykel just around now is SIXT. Jacob Marks, he's around. A couple of boat lengths behind is Ben Crawford in Rag and Famish. And there's nice spinnaker set on the Rag.
It was very good, wasn't it?
And Gotcha for Life, who's struggled a bit this year. They're ahead of Yandoo.
Never thought you'd say that, did you?
No. Boy, oh boy. So next around, a fair gap will be Yandoo. And then, as Jimmy pointed out, the gotcha for life.
Tell you the one that's been spat out the worst, obviously on the wrong side of everything, is Vicovia.
Yeah, where are they?
Still down towards Taylor's Bay.
Unbelievable how far back they are.
Kitchen Maker a long way back as well.
They talk about getting dumped. Vicovia miles back. It's that sort of day. The fleet are off towards, this Yandoo, just laying into the weather mark.
Well, the other one there, which I'm just saying off Steel Point, Shippo's the Killer Coffee Company, they still haven't made it to Steel Point yet.
He needs some coffee to get him going, I think. He's a long way back. Yandoo around. Jack McCartney, Charlie White and Harry Smith. And that's the run to Shark Island. Very tight run. Will they lay Shark Island? I don't think they will at this stage.
No, there's not much chance of carrying that kite all the way up to the YA, I don't think, but especially difficult for Shaw and Partners with that kite sheet round the luff. Balmain doing their best to get some height, so this should really be a big advantage to Balmain.
There's the shot. Balmain on the left with the orange chute. Well to windward of Shaw and Partners.
There's the Killer Coffee on the work
and
up
there's
still.
Killer Coffee coming upwind. They're off Nielsen Park, so they've got a bit of work to do. And then still holding third spot, just coming into shot now, is Ash Rooklyn in the Smeg. Lovely conditions on the harbour, full-on sunshine. 8 to 9 knot, east-northeasterly breeze. Big gains here for Balmain and Smeg. Although Shaw and Partners getting the bow up a bit now down near the island.
Yeah, with the breeze softening and turning a little bit in Rose Bay, it's certainly helping them get up. Looks like they might actually get to this mark now. But Keegan York in Shaw and Partners may struggle.
Keegan will struggle, Noel, because he's
on the 16, sorry.
But they are getting up. We'll see them in a moment. Shaw and Partners, John Harris done a terrific job here. He was low early, but now he's put the bow up and he looks as though he'd be laying the turning mark, screaming down the side of Shark Island. Balmain's got to jibe out. He was getting too high and up into the lead. So Balmain's jibe handing a big advantage to Shaw and Partners. So Shaw and Partners has probably extended down this run by staying low early. He's pretty soft at the moment.
It looks like they might have rectified that sheet problem. So they must have undone that sheet, let it fly down the boat. Oh, no, it's still there.
I think it's
still there. Couldn't see it there, but you certainly can now.
What's he doing? Is he
He's trying to jibe, but he's got to jibe it around the front because the sheet's around the front.
Trying to swap the sheet over, and then meanwhile Balmain is flying down. He's got one more jibe to come in. Big advantage back to Balmain here. Slow on the Shaw and Partners, trying to fix this spinnaker problem up as Balmain executes a very nice jibe. There they are with the orange chute. Shaw and Partners working feverishly to get this problem sorted out.
It's a really tricky situation whether you bite the bullet and do it now or just get to the bottom mark and get the forward hand to fix it while you're going upwind. But they've chosen to do it now. We'll see if they've got it right. But meanwhile, Balmain is coming in hot.
They're going to come into the lead, Balmain. There they are, down to leeward. They made things worse. Anyway, it's a real snafu at the moment. They're going to drop it again, are they? Halyard's coming down.
Yeah, I think they might have made a meal of that.
Well, at the moment, you can see them in the background.
We can see them, folks. You can't, unfortunately, but
there they are, top of screen. It's the camera cat.
There's the close-up for you.
Oh, that's not a pretty sight. They're going to jibe, and they got Smeg trying to roll into second spot. Meanwhile, Balmain have jibed. They're around the Shark Island mark. Good job, the Balmain boys. Henry Larkins, Tom Grimes and Finn Sprott. Nice job. Poor old Shaw and Partners. They're in all sorts here.
They've actually made it worse.
Yeah. Smeg's going to have to
possible.
jibe.
How is that possible?
That's really... Oh, dear. Shaw and Partners have fluffed their lines here. Absolutely stubbed their toe. After an outstanding beat, they're now in trouble with the Spinnaker. Smeg's over the top of them. Oh, it's light here. They forced Smeg to jibe, really, because Smeg was colliding with them and pushed them right up into the lee of Shark Island. Meanwhile, at the head of the pack, Balmain has gone.
Shaw and Partners was on starboard, so Smeg didn't have a choice.
Yep. So fourth is the Club Marine.
Soon to be third, I think.
Yep. Emma Rankin.
Great job, Emma.
Yeah. And poor old Shaw and Partners is still without a spinnaker. Well, its spinnaker's up, but it's certainly not set. So Club Marine going to get a puff here. They'll run into third spot, following by, who's the next here? This is Lazarus. Tom Koenig. He's close enough, if good enough.
And SIXT.
SIXT. And then back off Steel Point, if you know the harbour, is Yandoo. So he is minutes behind. Okay, Lazarus around with a nice bit of pressure. He's going to go into fourth spot. Still Shaw and Partners, no spinnaker. At the jibe mark as Fisher Paykel just in front of SIXT.
Very good run down there from Brett Van Munster. Although he was up in the leaders early on in the beat, he got a little bit lost at one point. Didn't go around the top mark in great shape. And so he's made a good gain down there.
Good puff here. Both SIXT and Fisher Paykel have got here. Meanwhile, all they can do on the Shaw and Partners is watch as these two boats power up to them. There's Shaw and Partners still spinnakerless. In a really good gust on the SIXT. There's Shaw and Partners. Spinnaker still at the masthead, but they've dropped from first to 1, 2, 3, 4.
That was Club
sixth
Marine.
or seventh.
Now we're coming up on the Smeg.
She's done a great job. Emma Rankin and Brandon Binick and Jed Cruikshank. Clearly in third spot, but meanwhile, right up at the leeward turning mark. It's a long lead now to the Balmain boys.
There they are, just about to round the mark.
Spinnaker down. And they're on their way in the second windward beat up to the Beachel Buoy again. Then the long straight run back to the starting area, that leeward mark. Very nice lead. Very comfortable at the moment. The breeze looks as though it's settled in, Dol, doesn't it, in direction anyway.
It's not too bad. Settled in a little bit. There's still a fair few holes in it, but great work from Henry Larkin and the team there.
Club Marine with the white chute. Smeg in third spot.
All the boats underlaying this mark, so they're having to drop early and two sail across. Really critical to get a good drop done here. Ash Rooklyn around the bottom mark now, just off screen, and next in you can see Club Marine.
Club Marine third, chasing the leader Balmain. Then Tom Koenig got into the mix here, he's fourth. Where's Shaw and Partners? Still coming down without a spinnaker.
Still off the Edwards.
Oh dear.
And still with no spinnaker.
No. Okay, Lazarus round next, flying into the leeward mark. They're away in fourth spot. They'll make things interesting for Smeg in front of them and Club Marine. Next around, Fisher Paykel on the inside of SIXT. Close racing there. And there's the Rag still with Spinnaker Dramas. Wow, that's disappointing for them. Had for a brilliant first beat. There's Rag now. Shaw and Partner still without the chute. Here comes Rag. Ben Crawford had a good, reasonable first half of the beat. He was probably leading, but it was easy to get a bit lost up there off Nielsen Park. So Rag's around, and then Ballard Property. Beck Hancock, she's around. And the next around will be Shaw and Partners coming without a Spinnaker now. They're going to reach up. They're still about 100 metres away from the leeward mark. Spinnaker's still... They got it down in the boat? I think they have.
Yeah, they've got it dropped now. They would be absolutely gutted, but it looked like rather than unlooping the sheet from around the luff of the Spinnaker, they might have given it an extra turn.
Gone the wrong way
around the luff of the Spinnaker, so they went the wrong way, yeah.
Oh, that's very disappointing. So after them will be, flying in will be Yandoo, Jack McCartney. And then following them will be Yandoo. You picked them to win, Dole, today.
No, that was you, Shippo.
Oh, wasn't me, was it? Okay. Oh, dear.
You put the commentator's curse on them?
Certainly did. Certainly did.
You did a great job.
Sorry about that, boys. Anyway, I'm sure they'll bounce back at some stage.
Stranger things have happened. It's Henry Larkins in Balmain.
Yeah, going to take some beating now. There's Yandoo and the Royal Oak.
Smeg well in the mix still.
Yeah, and Lazarus not that far away.
Yeah, long way to go in this race still. We're only a third of the way
Breeze looks
through.
more stable in direction now this time, doesn't it, I think?
Does, yeah. Still in the east.
So Balmain off camera, putting a long board towards Shark Island from Bradley's. Just tacked to go up the middle of the harbour. There's the Royal Oak running downwind. Hugo Stoner at the helm of the Royal Oak with Daniel Watson and Zan Scrimgeour. And that's Yandoo.
There's the overhead of Balmain, and they're now on starboard tack going back across the harbour. And right now they're in a little bit of a left-hand shift, so they're just trying to get across to the other side.
And Smeg on the left of them.
They want to cover off on Smeg, so...
And right in on Bradley's. There's a couple of boats right in on Bradley's head, one of which is Lazarus. Coming out, bouncing off Bradley's.
Yeah,
Lazarus
they're in there with Club Marine, and I think that's Brett Van Munster in Fisher Paykel just behind them. Next behind Brett will be Ballard.
Yeah. There's Ballard
So
Property.
there's Smeg looking back at those three aforementioned boats. Club Marine, Lazarus and Fisher Paykel.
So the challenge is coming for Balmain from Smeg going into the right, and then Club Marine, Lazarus and Fisher Paykel going into the left. So Balmain's working up the middle. There's Smeg going right in towards Shark Island. The east paid last time. He's just tacked.
That's what he's looking for, the east. But last time the eastern shift was a bit closer up towards Nelson Park. Yeah.
Balmain's just tacked. Look at some of the yachts. They look same as last time, really. They're high on the left, but as they get across the harbour, they head. But there's Balmain. He's Still got a nice lead, but you wouldn't want to stub your toe, as they say, because there are a lot of challenges coming at him.
He's doing the right thing, though. He's keeping himself to windward of his opposition, keeping between the opposition and the next mark.
There's Vykobi in the back of that shot, still coming downwind.
So what we've seen here is that Club Marine have just had to take the stern of Smeg. So that's the battle for second at the moment, and Lazarus right in the picture also. Is Lazarus, they might have to do a little duck, perhaps not, but they're close enough here. And then Fisher Paykel breathing down their exhaust pipe. And not far away either, SIXT, but Smeg battling it out for second with Club Marine. And it's only about 7 or 8 knots. Maybe a little bit more in the puffs, but they're not many puffs.
Yeah, we've seen this lead sort of 5 or 6 boats compress in this first part of the second beat. So it'll be interesting to see who can pick their way up through this shifty beat. Smeg choosing to still get out towards the middle of the harbour while all the opposition are heading over into Rose Bay trying to sniff out that easterly shift that was there on the last beat.
It looks as though there's pressure up off Nelson Park now, doesn't it, Dole?
Yeah.
You know, it's where Balmain's looking, I'd say. They're still going across Rose Bay.
Pressure there, Shippo, but it's not in that right-hand shift that we saw last time.
No.
So
boats going in on port are quite high.
Yeah.
And Smeg going out to the left, big time, going right in towards Taylor's Bay, splitting away from the fleet. Now, this will be a good test of whether right was good or left was good.
Yeah, I suspect Ash is looking for that left-hand shift. There's yachts high on port on the western shore. I'm sure he's seen that, and that's what he's going for. But
He's
there doesn't look
just tacked.
just tacked now. There you go. Thanks, Jimmy.
Midstream, so he isn't fully committed.
There's good breeze off Steel Point at the moment. Here's Smeg. The yacht Money Penny in the background. Over from Western Australia to do the Sydney Hobart race.
I think I like what Ash has done there.
Yeah,
if he gets a bit of pressure, he'll make a gain.
He looks as though he's coming into pressure. There's good pressure about 100 metres ahead of him, and it's probably a little bit left. Niall Morrow and Finn Rodowitz with Ash Rooklin. He's coming into more pressure all the time. So stand by. We're about halfway up the second beat. Still looks high there, doesn't he, Smeg?
He's going well.
There he is at the top, just off the leach of the sail of Balmain. And I think it's a gain to Smeg, I'd say.
Yeah, and he's just hooked into a little bit more pressure too, so he's not going to lead, but he's certainly taken some distance out of Balmain.
There's another puff coming down to him also. He's closed the gap. But Lazarus has got himself into third spot, I think. Okay, that's the cross. Still nicely in front, Balmain, but boy, Ash Rooklin's done a nice job in this first part of this second beat.
That deficit you see on screen, the camera makes it look a bit further than it is, and it's probably about maybe 70 metres, and Balmain's just chosen to tack and cover off on Smeg.
Oh, there's a ferry going to go up the race course right in front of Lazarus here. Bound for Watson's Bay. Lazarus going to cop a bit of grief here. Oh, a lot of grief.
Very unusual being the Emerald Class 2. It's on the Manly run, and it normally goes up the Western Channel. So,
so you think he's going to Manly, is he? Yeah. Anyway, slowed Lazarus down and Club Marine. They copped a bit of a lead. So the leaders are up off Steel Point, Nelson Park, and it's Balmain that leads.
Reckon that might have been Phil Cup Barnett trying to give the Vicovia a chance to catch up.
She need to do more than that.
It need to do a hell of a lot more than that, but no, I don't think it was Cup.
No, she looks as though she's bound for Manly now. Interesting route they've taken. There's the two leaders. Looks quite light where they're going. Couple of big power boats have gone through and really chopped up the wind. Smeg got reasonable pressure. They got better pressure than Balmain up to windward of them.
Problem for Smeg here is they're going to attack, and Balmain, Henry Larkins is a pretty smart operator. He'll just wait for them to attack and dump on him. Oh no.
No, let him off the hook.
Spoke too soon.
Let him off the hook.
Might have been a bit scared of running out of breeze in there, I think.
Well, they've tacked back on the nothing special, Balmain. That's
you know, that ferry and a big motor yacht, they'll really chop the breeze up through there.
Club Marine off a third. They've tacked.
Henry's done quite well there. I think he got out of there just in the nick of time.
Meanwhile, Lazarus has gone hard into the left. So he's left the leading pack. I think it's cost him plenty, actually.
Coming back on a decent header by the looks of it.
Remember, he went just behind Club Marine before, but Club Marine looked to be well ahead of him now. But anyway, there's Smeg and Club Marine, second and third, respectively. Balmain out in the middle of the harbour near the Blinker and Nielsen Park. As
there's Fisher Paykel.
Fisher Paykel, Brett Van Munster, close enough. Good race now, really good race. And barrelling in from the left-hand side is Lazarus. He's done okay. He's done better than I thought when he tacked. He's lifted with pressure, so you can't get better than that, pressure with a lift. He still won't cross Club Marine. But these boats are heading as they come out, aren't they?
Yeah.
Club Marine and Smeg. And then super left is the Rag and Famish right in on Clifton Gardens, but we'll concentrate on these two and we'll look at the Club Marine's tact. I think Lazarus would have been very close to them. Yeah, Lazarus has got really close. The left hand paid their doll for a while, didn't it?
Yeah, and that's good. Emma attacking then has given the advantage to Lazarus. He'll pass them
Yeah,
now.
it looks pretty light where she's going.
Yeah.
Very light. You can see her struggling for pressure.
You've really got to get to those gusts and then maximise your
When we see Balmain, he's tacked out in the middle and he'd be really high on port.
But down pressure. Right now the breeze has dropped out quite a bit, hasn't it, Pete?
Sure has. We've only got about 6 or 7 knots.
Yeah.
He's Balmain, he's tacked again. Smeg throwing down the challenge, but can't quite get to Balmain at the moment. They're doing a pretty smart job, Balmain.
Yeah, both beats. Henry's managed to pick his way through these shifts very well. But Ash is still in touch, doing a great job. He's now choosing to tack so that he's sailing in the same breeze that Balmain is. Balmain not in a position to cover there. The Smeg is in clear air.
So about 200 metres from the weather mark, the Beashel Boy and Balmain. Boy, they're in a good left-hander up there. Smeg just getting it now. And they've really opened up on Lazarus and Club Marine at the moment. We keep saying that because a lot of shifts in this wind.
Yeah, things can change very quickly.
And way in Clifton Gardens, Chowder Bay is Rag and Famish. They've gone for the doctor up there. Now here's Club Marine coming out. Lazarus tacking short of them. It's got lighter as we come up here, hasn't it? It's
certainly is.
yeah, 6 or 7 knots at best.
And this time we've got the deep run down the middle, not round the island, so current with them. Incoming tide. So it'll be really a matter of trying to pick your way down the puffs as you come down. They can go anywhere they like because they don't need to worry. The tide's with them, carrying them. So it's just a matter of trying to find the pressure. Gee, I'd think Rag and Famish are almost overlaid.
Yeah, at the moment, the course they're on,
there.
coming around George's Head. But it's high on the right now again. They're more in an easterly stream here. The leaders are Balmain and Smeg got headed as they went in on port. Smeg going back. Balmain is tacking, I think. I think he tacked down. Yeah, he just tacked Balmain.
Yeah, Smeg just leading Lazarus and Club Marine back out to the centre. I'll come out here to probably to a port ley line, and probably just one more tack. These light conditions, you want to try and keep your tacking to a minimum if you can. Manoeuvres are costly.
But way off camera, we'll see them shortly as Rag and Famish coming off George's Head near the Western Channel pilot. You can see them right at top of screen, coming back on a screamer left-hander.
Could almost put
pressure.
a spinnaker up though, I think, Chippo.
Yeah, well, he's got himself right back into the game here.
There
They are, yeah.
But a long way above the ley line, I would have thought.
He's put it in the bank.
As long as the breeze stays in the left, which it probably won't. I think as he comes further out into the harbour, he'll start to head a bit. He's starting to now, actually.
Yeah, but he's put himself right in contention.
Certainly has. Great job.
That's him top of screen, and this is the race leader, Balmain. Yeah, Ben Crawford's put himself right in the mix here. Could be third, could be even second. Don't think he's got enough.
No,
to
he's
get
definitely
first.
he's going to be second, and
yeah.
he could even lead.
Wow, there's a go.
So
Rolled the dice and went into the left, saw what was happening up the track, and he's absolutely brained it. Short of a lane line now. He's got headed slightly, but anyway, he's given himself a real chance here. Balmain getting ready to attack in bumpy water and not much breeze.
yeah, very light here at the top mark right now.
Big deep run now back to the starting area, the leeward mark, down off Clark Island as Balmain tacks, and they're going to be short too of this. They're nowhere near the ley line at the moment. If they get a left-hander, which they're getting, but I still don't think they'll get there. Just having a look at them come in now.
Yeah, a bit hard to judge where we are, but it's a pretty skinny ley line.
It's tight. They might get there. Just lifting now. You can see the Beechel boy, that yellow boy. There it is. Yeah, it's tight. It's tight. Bumpy water. One crew in. They're in pinch mode, but I don't think they're going to get there. No. Breeze has collapsed a little. There's a yacht very handily placed up to windward that's going to obliterate some breeze. Yep.
Yep. And a tack is really costly because it's a very slow manoeuvre when you do two in a row. But they continue to lead. Great job from Henry and the team. There they go.
Rag and Famish should tack any second. They'll lay that. So Balmain leads in bumpy water and not much wind. And on the way back to Clark Island now, long run. Oh, I see them going up and down. Oh, the spinners.
No.
Prawns.
Prawns keep pulling, boys.
Oh, they've stopped.
They're going to get it. They're going to get it.
Bit of yelling. Oh, they've got it. Just.
Yeah.
Wow.
The breeze let them down. Oh. Bit of colourful language as Rag and Famish goes round. Balmain away. So what do we got now? We've got Rag second. Smeg will be third, I think, or maybe Fisher Paykel snuck up the windward side.
It's going to be very close. I think Brett Van Munster will be able to just tack inside Smeg here.
Yes, Smeg's a big overlay. They'll get the... Yeah, he should get around there. Brett, there he goes. That's Balmain, Rag and Famish. An outstanding second beat from the Rag by going hard left. Fisher Paykel third. Smeg went from second to fourth. And where did Lazarus end up in all of that? Who's next around?
He'll probably be next around. I don't know that.
Of course, Emma's
Club
going to lay
Marine
this
is going
mark.
to lay it.
Oh,
dear.
Club Marine
Going to give it a go.
You're going to try and shoot it.
It's not a mark you want to hit that. It's a rather substantial steel buoy, but she's going to get around. No. Lazarus around the outside. Club Marine a little bit chicken winged up. Emma Rankin, she's around. And then next around was
And look who's back.
Ballard Properties there. Look who's back is Shaw and Partners. Another good beat after that disastrous run when their Spinnaker got completely tangled up. They went almost without it for half the run. Shaw and Partners,
And
another good job.
They'd lost a lot of ground, so John Harris has done very well up that beat to get back to there. He's back in touch on the back of the pack.
So the big run.
Still looks like they've got a wrap in this Spinnaker.
They have.
Dear. Oh,
They
no.
have.
Dear, oh, dear. Oh. Well, what do you do? Dear.
Tough day at the office.
Yeah. Welcome back to 18-foot racing, John. Okay, there's still Shaw and Partners with that massive problem with their Spinnaker as the leaders all running towards Nielsen Park. Balmain leads.
So Shaw and Partners have pulled the Spinnaker around. They're going to have their, fourth attempt to fix it?
Someone owes plenty of beers on that boat.
Yeah. Here we go. Rag and Famish and Balmain have jibed off Nielsen.
For the Yandoo fans, they're just round the Bishop Buoy right now.
This is really closing up at the front. So Rag and Famish has jibed on top of Balmain. Balmain still leads. Fisher Paykel, Brett Van Munster very narrowly in third.
And in breaking news, looking backwards, Dole, the Shaw and Partners have finally got the Spinnaker sorted.
Wow. It actually does look like that, but I thought that when they were down near the island before, and then next minute it was the sheep was still around it. So we'll see if they can jibe with it. It'll be the true test.
So just remembering, this is the third heat of the club championship and the final heat of the SIXT Spring Championship. And SIXT is a clear leader in the handicap section. Second was Yandoo, who's way, way back. So things are looking pretty good for SIXT, I'd say, at the moment, as far as the spring point score goes, as she's running down now towards Nielsen Park. Jibing. She goes, gets those battens across.
Yeah, they've got themselves in touch with the lead group 6. When I had a quick look at the handicaps earlier, provided they don't let any of the chasing pack get a big lead over them, they should be pretty comfortable to take out the championship.
Okay, so a lot of jibes down this run as they get down towards Clark Island. That's the leeward mark, but they're halfway down the run now. Balmain out in the middle of the harbour. The chasing pack led by Smeg, Fisher Paykel, Club Marine, Lazarus and SIXT, and also Ballard Properties, and a little bit further back is Shaw and Partners, the early race leader who came to grief on the Spinnaker run with their tangled Spinnaker sheet. They've sorted that out, but it's a little bit too late. There they are, off the Western Channel pile. Rag and Famish also right in the hunt after an outstanding second beat. They were second round the weather mark.
There is Smeg,
Yeah, and
very close in second place, battling it out with Fisher Paykel.
And Rag.
Rag's to
also,
windward.
there's
So
Rag, probably
when-
still second.
When those three boats converge, we'll see how those minor placings are. Certainly Rag and Famish, Smeg and Fisher Paykel all fighting it out for those top three behind Balmain. Balmain has done quite well in that last little exchange. Managed to pick up a nice little vein of pressure.
That's first and second. Running into Taylor's Bay. Henry Larkins, Tom Grimes and Finn Sprott. Getting a nice little bit of pressure as they close the land.
And coming into a little bit more, it looks like they'll probably try and get across this pressure and then jibe on it. Try and carry that breeze out, back out to the middle. So they're just hanging on as long as they can. There's the breezes hitting them now. You just saw the bow go down.
Extending in now to the eastern side of Bradley's Head. Not far off a jibe, I wouldn't think. And then in the background is the Rag and Famish. Balmain going to get ready, I would think, any time, boys.
Here they go.
Still in good pressure. Don't leave it too late. Here they go. Nice jibe. And also there's Rag, second place. Now, will Rag cross this chasing pack at the moment?
Don't think so.
No, I don't think they will. I think that Smeg and Fisher Paykel and Lazarus have probably done a good job down the middle of the harbour. They've certainly closed up on Rag. We'll have a look now at the intersection. Oh, it's going to be close, Smeg. You'll see them in play. There they are. They're across. Smeg jibing first. Okay, Rag will still be third, just close enough. Not much for second, really. It's very close here. Fisher Paykel jibing also. Lazarus jibe first out in the middle with a black spinnaker. And running down the middle of the harbour in good pressure, SIXT. So we'll see how this all plays out. Rag and Famish had to put the bow up to get up towards Smeg. And that's Brett Van Munster in the Fisher Paykel hard on their heels.
There they all are lined up there. There's six to windward, closer to the middle of the harbour. They look like they're on a nice bit of pressure. All these boats have picked up a nice little bit of left-hand pressure. Will take them down to the mark. Looks like the four boats fighting it out for second right now are probably in a bit better breeze and getting a bit more depth. There they are. But as you can see, very, very close. One lap to go. Once we get around the bottom mark here, up to the top around the island and down to the finish.
There's a outbound cruise ship, Shippo, just going past Fort Denison
Oh, okay, good.
to add some excitement to the day.
A big wall moving down the harbour. Anyway, there it is. The Opera House and the cruise ship and the harbour bridge.
Look at that.
So it's Smeg in second spot, but very tight. Balmain's jumped away down here, Dol.
Yeah, they got a nice little puff. Gave them depth and gave them speed. They've done well. They've probably opened up another 100, 150 metres on the chasing pack. The chasing pack fighting with each other doesn't help their cause either. So, advantage to Balmain. I know Tom Grimes would be very good at feeding information to Henry. Without Lockie Pryor today, he'd be at the 16-footers. Maybe a little early on that jibe back, but they'll be able to come away when they drop the kite. There's a split screen, the chasing pack on the right. Here comes the drop on Balmain.
The mark, they're at the mark now. Clock is running.
There's the chasing pack coming in. Smeg leading them in. They should come into this mark in second place, jibing now to the ley line. Oh, not the best of jibes, but they've got it done.
Yeah, Balmain's opened up a nice lead here again. Outstanding run, but as you say, Dol, this chasing pack probably slowing each other down somewhat.
Yeah.
It's just allowed Balmain to jump away again. They've got a nice 30 seconds at the moment lead, and there's still a lot of work to do for these boats. Smeg's got to have jibe back here.
Yeah, they didn't pick that line very well. They're going to have to jibe and then jibe back and drop. There they go.
Just noticing the Miller's Point, the pilot escort vessel is racing up to where the skiffs are sort of going across to Bradley.
It's
so
a massive cruise ship, yeah.
And it's a long way ahead of the ship, Jimmy, too.
So that's it.
it's the assistant. The pilot vessel's back about halfway.
It. Yeah.
So it's a minute differential. So Balmain leads by a minute from Smeg. Rag and Famish have maintained close third here. Rag's around. This interesting track. We'll see what Rag takes. They went hard left last time and really paid dividends for them.
Well, we won't be going hard left with this cruise ship coming.
No, it might change things a bit. Fisher Paykel 4. Then Lazarus. 6, they've got themselves right into it again. Club Marine just jibed early there. I think 6 forced them into a jibe, perhaps. So Lazarus around. They're about 2 minutes behind the lead. Oh, about a minute 50 behind the leader.
This could really actually help Balmain because they're going to be able to get to the left.
But will they be able to get back to the right? That's the problem.
They should do. I'm sure they've seen the pilot boat and the ship.
Okay, 6th about to go around.
Sneaking inside is Emma Rankin, the Club Marine.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, she jibed a bit early and really got slowed down, but she's around inside 6th. And next will be Ballard Properties, then Shaw and Partners, then Yandoo, and then Yandoo. It's light here down at the bottom mark, that's for sure. Looking upwind, it doesn't look any fresher. It's probably about 7 to 8 knots, I guess. Some really light spots.
Yeah, it's very light down here at the bottom end. A lot of boats up course, chopping the breeze up.
Massive cruise ship just off Fort Dennis and Garden Island, slowly making its way down the harbour. There's Yandoo.
Yeah, they're going to try and jibe drop inside of Beck Hancock here.
Oh,
it's a bit of a dubious manoeuvre.
Yeah.
And on their tail, the ever luckless Shaw and Partners.
Well, they got the spinnaker down.
I bet you each one of those spinnakers on Shore and Partners next week will have a big 1 and a big 2 on the relevant spinnakers and a tack, clue and head.
Put this sheet there.
Well, they had the round the right way. It's just they had the sheet around the front, and each time they tried to fix it,
Just
they
got
put
worse.
another wrap.
Got worse.
Rather than unwrap, they had a wrap.
Never stop learning. So, poor old Shore and Partners, after an outstanding first beat when they led clearly at the weather mark, came to grief, of course, down the first spinnaker run, and they're well back now in about 10th position.
Tough day at the office.
Well, there's Yandoo. Not their day today, that is for sure. They are a long way back. This big cruise ship approaching Bradley's Head.
And the pilot boat looks like it'll cut off Yandoo, Shore and Partners and Ballard property. So they can't go between the pilot vessel that you can see there and the ship. So they're going to have to tack off and come back to the east side.
There it is.
Makes for great pictures, Shippo, but
Yes.
not for great sailing.
No. Oh. So these boats will have to bail out, you'd think.
Well, the pilot boat has actually just pulled up.
Yes.
So he might let them go across, but they do need to get back across at some point. It's a problem.
all the rest have got across to Bradley's. They can basically sail their own course, but a few tricks to play out here with this ship. So it looks like Yandoo is going to go to windward of the pilot boat, as will Shore and Partners and Ballard Properties at the moment.
Well, as I said, the pilot, the pilot
Stopped.
vessel decided to stop, which is very generous of him.
Just see that cruise ship now appearing. It's a massive ship. Boy, that's a big ship. There, they're pushing across it.
They want to get a wriggle on. But the pilot vessel chose to let them through.
Yeah,
so
boy, oh boy. You don't often see that. Jeez. The cruise ship's still coming, but the pilot boat stopped, and the Shore and Partners is the one that's going to be the closest to it. The ship just swinging to port to get round Bradley's. As you say, Dolan might lock them out on this western side.
they'd just about reach up from there and get a complimentary cocktail.
Yeah. Well, that's Ballard across, and Shore and Partners across. So all three are across.
And now the pilot vessel has accelerated and gone forward.
Oh well. Another pilot boat further ahead. But anyway, back to the races, as they say. And we're up the final beat in light 8 knots of breeze maximum. Lazarus in probably 4th spot. Now we'll just get ourselves rearranged here. That's
the Balmain.
Balmain going right into Taylor's Bay. So I think they saw perhaps what Rag and Famish did last time, and they're going way into the left.
Rag and Famish following them to that side.
Yeah, Smeg's in there as well, as is Club Marine.
Pretty hectic out here right
It's
now,
all happy.
folks.
There's cruise ships, there's pilot boats, there's pleasure craft,
Captain-
foot skiffs.
Captain Jimmy really being put to the test.
Yep. Handle it with aplomb. Okay, they're right in Taylor's Bay. Balmain's still going.
It's
That's Smeg there.
Smeg on screen. 12-foot skiff in the foreground.
Just off camera. Well, that's Smeg now. He's deep in the bay here, very deep, as was Balmain. Balmain's now tacked, going out on port and looking for a bit of acceleration in the breeze around Chowder Head, which he's getting, but he's not super high. That is for sure. But he's got good pressure. Now he's got to make a decision, I think, Balmain, to keep going, get across on the eastern side to get across this cruise ship. Is now starting to go a bit quicker down the, now it's around Bradley's. It's heading in towards Nielsen Park.
The cruise ship could really pin you out onto this western side. Looks like Henry is choosing to, right now anyway, choosing to get across to the other side while he can. Ashrooklyn at the moment is looking okay, but the pilot boat and the ship are advancing fairly quickly.
That's his real issue here.
If he doesn't get to cross, he's going to be committed to the western side all the way up the harbour. Looking in on board with the boys on Smeg there now.
Got a nice little bit
Lefty.
of pressure coming
Nice
around.
little
that.
lefty here. Yep.
It's up pressure. That's Balmain off the leech of him, Mainsel, the leader. Henry Larkins at the helm of Balmain. Ashrooklyn at the helm of Smeg. Battling to get across this cruise ship. I think at the moment he's probably, hard to say, isn't it?
He's going to be pretty much head-to-head, bow-to-bow. I don't think he's going to get across.
Well, Lazarus is locked out there on the western side.
Club Marine, Ballard Property and Shore and Partners are also locked out over this side of this.
Rag and Famish is not. He's right in Rose Bay. He went to the right the first part of the beat after going hard left last time, but there's the ship.
And the pilot vessel are good, probably 200 metres in front of the ship. And right now, Ashrooklyn in Smeg is not going to cross in front of the pilot vessel.
Right in on the island is SIXT on Shark Island. You'll see, is Ash going for it? Or is...
He won't be able to go for it.
He can't go behind that pilot vessel.
No.
So
He's going to have to bail out. It's going to be costly for him. He's heading us all the time. You can see Balmain's come around his bow. You know, nice shift down there, heading in towards Nielsen. Opened up.
hold the phone, Shippo.
Yeah, the pilot vessel.
The pilot vessel has chosen to stop again.
He must be a nice yachty, is he? I don't know.
But he's banging
A couple of the pilots, their kids are
sailors.
18-foot skiff sailors.
Okay, he's across. I think Smeg's across. Well, certainly the pilot boat stopped. He's going to go around the bow of the pilot boat.
We might take the option to go with him, I think, Shippo.
We'll hit the accelerator. There, Smeg's across.
So if that pilot, skipper, captain, happens to watch the live stream back,
Yeah, well done.
send us a message, mate, and we'll give you a shout out.
Well done. Very sensible. Very sensible. The Carnival Splendour coming down the harbour made a bit of space for the skiffs, but what we're seeing is that I think that while we're looking at Smeg, I think he's dropped back into third spot. I think Rag's gone up into second spot.
Yeah, I think you're right, Pete.
But Balmain's extended really nicely, right in on Steel Point. There's the Rag. Balmain just tacked off Steel Point. See the sun worshippers in on Nielsen Park on a beautiful,
Nice little vein of
Afternoon.
right-hand pressure there.
yeah, he's in a real
Nice
ripper.
little puff.
Absolute ripper.
High on starboard and in pressure. Looks like he's going to stay in it for a good 400 or 500 metres too there, Shippo.
Very nice job. Yeah. Outstanding race so far these boys have sailed. It's the blinker off Nielsen Park, well known to many yachties on the harbour, the Yellow Boy. And they're just heading a little as they go out there, Dollar. They don't
They're
really...
in good pressure, though.
That's
Very
the main
good
thing.
pressure. If you're going to take a bad one, you take it with some extra strength, that's for sure. They ran out of runway on that eastern side.
Yeah, there's still plenty of east on this, right in on Nielsen Park. There's a yacht in Watson's Bay, very high on starboard, but meanwhile they're going out into the middle in pressure. So they round Beechel and then run to Shark Island and then they run to the finish. So at the moment they're in very good shape. And there's the Carnival Splendor, just turned the wick up and powering down the Western Channel and bound for the South Pacific or somewhere, I assume.
Beautiful day to be leaving Sydney Harbour.
Gorgeous.
Quite a sight. They get to watch the 18-footers too. Not bad. Great shot. Fantastic shot. I'm sure the Balmain people will be wanting to get a grab of that. Looks like they're going to go over nearly to the ship and bounce back. They won't be too far off a ley line to the Beechel Boy. And at last, a nice little bump in pressure up towards the top of the course here. Certainly a whole lot more than we had at the bottom mark. Probably just starting to get over 10, 11, 12 knots up at the Beechel Boy now.
Just a note I got that maybe well-known yachtsman Billy Merrington might be driving the pilot boat. He's an operator
There you
on the
go.
pilot boat. So if it is you, Billy, well done and thank you. You knew what you were doing, that's for sure. And I'd like to say hello to the bunch of pirates at the CYC members bar, including Ian Wilson, who's a regular watcher from Canada. He's just finished sailing across the Pacific. So hello to you, Ian. And hello to Donald Graham and your merry men there. Hope you're enjoying this afternoon. It's a gorgeous day out in the harbour, and it's a gorgeous day for this boat, Balmain, who leads comfortably on the final beat up to the Beechel Boy. A nice breeze here, Dol, at the moment, isn't it?
I was just saying,
Again, the best we've got.
Good breeze, probably the best we've had all day, and over 10 knots up here, which is really, really nice. Look at all those 18-footer fans up on the top deck, Shippo.
They waving to us. They waving to us.
They've all rushed over to the starboard side of the ship.
Yeah,
to
you can
watch
see
the
the
18s.
ship leaning over a bit. Yeah.
On the big screen up on the swim deck.
Well, that is some ship, isn't it? Boy.
Shout out to all our followers on the Carnival Splendor.
Yes. Don't know how many we've got. But anyway.
I don't think we heard from Lisa Dameron today. Shippo, maybe she's on the Carnival Splendor.
Yeah.
A couple more tacks here for the
I think you'll
Balmain.
find the tugboat hanging off the back of the Carnival Splendor is going to do some indirect towage by the looks of how tight it's got its lines.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Meanwhile, Balmain has tacked for the weather mark. He's going to lay in pretty tight to it on this starboard tack. Oh no, he's going to be well short of it on starboard, so he'll have a bit to come in on port, but he's clearly ahead. He's a minute ahead at the leeward mark, the final time, and we're going to have a look at the time differential now. That's a great shot. We're right with him in the cockpit here. Look at that. Really moving nicely, the boat, in plenty of wind. Yeah, he's laying right in, so he's going to be short.
You can see how
Little
quick
short
the
tack.
18-footer is. You know, they're only in maybe a touch over 10 knots of breeze there, so they're easily doing wind speed upwind.
There's the mark. They're going around the famous Beechel buoy. They're on their way home. When they round this, we'll get the clock running.
Certainly extended their lead in this second half.
Okay, they're around now. Beautiful conditions now. Nice bit of breeze, 8, 9, perhaps 10 knots. Bound for Shark Island. And where is the second place boat?
Right in front of them, Shipper. You've
Okay,
got the Rag
the
and
Rag.
Famish and the Smeg.
Well, they've hung in well.
And the boat that got pinned out to the Western Channel was Lazarus and Club Marine.
Yeah, well, that was costly for them.
Yeah, those boats in the middle of the harbour, the ship has literally just sucked the life out of the breeze down there. Long port tack to get through there back to the pressure. But here comes the Rag.
Yep. Nice job. They got a terrific start and been there or thereabouts the whole race, and now they're in second place. And already that's just about a minute gone. So it's going to be about a minute 20 or so, the lead to Balmain.
Young Ben Crawford really impressing. You know, he's come through the 29ers and the match racing scene. Big step up into the 18-footer, and in a short period of time he's really found his legs pretty quickly.
Okay, he's tacked now. I'll give that a minute 25 is the differential. So he's around, that's the delta. Rag and Famish, a little puff there. Nothing too extreme. And then Ash Rooklyn in the Smeg. About another 10 seconds adrift. So the run to Shark Island caused a few troubles on the first time round. So Smeg getting their Spinnaker set. That's set. So the three leaders are around. Balmain is absolutely gone. She's down in good pressure off Nielsen Park on a beautiful day on the harbour.
And just for your information, the chasing boats after those three, we've got Lazarus, then Fisher Paykel, Club Marine and SIXT, and still in the mix is Yandoo.
Can Yandoo make a comeback, do you think, Dolly?
From over there, I don't think so, Shippo.
I've done my money today.
As fast as they are, it's an unassailable task.
Anyway, nice to see these different teams up near the front. Smeg having her best race of the year with Ash Rooklyn, as is Rag and Famish. Got a few viewers watching from New Zealand. They said they can't watch their rugby. They've got to watch the sailing. So hello to you, Pete Montgomery. Commiserations on the All Blacks, but should be over in Sydney. It's a beautiful day here. So we're watching the final run, or the final leg of these third championship heat for the 18-footers. Sydney Harbour in all its glory today. That's the battle for second and third. The Rag and Famish leading the Smeg. Balmain way in the distance for the orange Spinnaker. Past Steel Point now. Henry Larkins, Fryn Sprott and Tom Grimes in complete control at the moment. They stayed a bit lower this time. On the first run they got it fairly high and had to jive in. Now they look as though they're going to be lay down. Oh, they just hit a soft spot. Just saying that, there's quite a big lee extends out from Steel Point. Look at that. They've really collapsed the Spinnaker off camera. Meanwhile, the Rag is barrelling down at them. It's still a fair lead they've got, though. Balmain just starting to get going again. They really fell into a bad hole there, Dol. But anyway,
Yeah, they're back into it now.
yeah, they've got plenty on here. They'll go down this eastern side of the Shark Island in one drive and then homeward bound.
Great job from these guys today. Still got a little way to go to get there up to this mark. They've just copped a bit of a heading path that's got them pointing at the island.
Behind them, Rag and Smeg are both in heading pressure, having trouble to get up to the island at the moment, but pressure will drop as they get further in the lee of Steel Point. But Balmain now starting to get rock and rolling again. Throwing a bit of spinnaker at it to get round the side of the island, perhaps.
Just rolling that luff to get as much height as they can.
Now they're off again.
This is really tough, folks at home who haven't seen the 18-footers live on the harbour. One big gust of an extra sort of 3 or 4 knots can turn your bow towards the island. It's very hard to send your forward hand in to drop it once you're committed. So the position they're in now, they are committed. They have to continue.
They look like they're doing it pretty comfortably at the moment there, Dol.
And doing a great job. Look at that, rolling the luff just enough to not collapse the kite, but keep the bow up. Oh, just a little rag now. They're just struggling to get there. They need that little bit of extra height. Very tough to pull that last bit of kite on once it collapses like that.
Well, they've got going now. They're laying okay, tight but good. About 3 boat lengths away from the mark, and they put the bow down and then send it to home. There they are. There's the mark.
Really nicely judged.
Well done all day. They've been terrific. They'll just extend out here towards the eastern side of Point Piper a little before they jibe. There they go. And they all underlaid a little the last time, and so they're putting the bow up, and the finishing line's up near Clark Island, and they're in a good puff. And the lead is very substantial. That's second and left of screen, the Rag, Famish, and then Smeg in third spot.
They look comfortable in that position now. They've managed to gap out a little bit on, I think, Lazarus, probably in fourth. So they're on final approach into the Shark Island buoy, but we're back with Balmain probably on a fairly comfortable way to get down to this finish. A little softening in the breeze and some big
bumpy water here.
Big bumpy waves to take on. That'll slow them up.
Not much wind here at the moment, as you can see. They're trying to get themselves extracted away from Shark Island. As the further they go, the more breeze they'll get. They're just starting to pick it up now. As the second and third.
I want a little bit of height, like if you just see where the
finish
mark
boat
is off the eastern southern side of
Clark Island. Yeah, it just depends what you're right, Jimmy. But it just depends what pressure they pick up through here. They've got breeze again now, and they're up and rolling. But in the lee of Shark Island here, the breeze is really up and down at the moment. And it hasn't helped by the fact that a number of big boats and a ferry's just gone through and really chopped up the water. It looks like a pretty comfortable line to the finish boat now. Finish boat will come into view shortly.
About 200 metres to go, and they're laying into the finish. I think, Dol, they'll no more jibes. I don't think, will they?
Yeah, if it gets a little soft, they might
have to put the bow up. Yeah. At the moment, they are just slightly above the finish, but a couple of little puffs, they'll eke their way down.
Haven't seen the spectator ferry go that quick. It was still halfway up the
I haven't seen it all day.
Got both engines engaged.
They've got an advisor out there on the ferry today, Woody. John Winning's out there advising the skipper what to do.
Right.
he'd be learning a few things or two. But anyway, here's the race leader, about 100 metres from home. Henry Larkins, skipper Tom Grimes and Finn Sprott.
It'll be a little jibe into the finish here.
One and in. I'll get this right, and this is a very, very, very good performance. In light, tricky conditions, Balmain jives for the final time. Oh no, she'll probably cross down now. Will he go back and jive? No, he won't. He put the bow down, and we'll get a time going on this, see how he goes. There he is. There's your winner today. Balmain wins the third heat of the 18-footer club championship for the year.
They look pretty happy about it too.
Well, why wouldn't they be? A very good performance.
High fives all round. Back to the chasing pack. It's Rag and Famish.
Yeah, another outstanding effort from this crew, the Rag. Their best performance of the year. It's been a tough old start for the year. We've had plenty of wind. One race abandoned because there's too much wind. But the Rag done an outstanding job. For second, let's not forget Smeg. He's been there, and the experienced Ash Rooklin. Sure, his father Warwick is watching on.
Oh, he's sailing the VX1 state championship.
Oh, is he? Okay,
I can tell you.
But he'll be watching on tonight, I'm sure.
I think he was in third or second overnight.
Okay. So there's the Smeg. So the Rag has finished in second spot. Rag and Famish second. Smeg third. Getting a nice little run to the finish, the Smeg. They're across. It's 1, 2 and 3. And then there's a long gap to fourth, which will be our friends on the SIXT.
Lazarus.
Oh, Lazarus here. Okay, snuck in here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the SIXT. So Tom Koenig in the Lazarus. Always strong in these conditions. So he'll be 4. And that winning margin was about 1 minute 25. So
about the same as what they were at the top mark.
Yes, yeah. So Lazarus about to approach the finishing line. Josh Fellman and Jacob Broom with Tom Koenig.
Great job.
And next will be in 5th spot, 6th, which might just clinch the spring championship for him.
Yeah, I think being that close up and not too much of a time deficit, looking at the handicaps, I think that should be enough for them to take out their sponsors' series, which is, I'm sure the 6 people will be happy to see that. Very well sailed series by Jacob and the team.
So 6th is 5th. Nice job.
Oh, we're thinking they might celebrate.
Yeah, Alex Marinelli and Matt Doyle.
Maybe they'll wait for the official results.
Yep, and then following them is Fisher Paykel in 6th spot. Brett Van Munster. Probably his best outing. Some of these boats have got their best outing of the day, of the season, really. Club Marine is next. Emma Rankin.
Yeah, great job by Emma Rankin and her crew.
She could probably win the handicap today.
For the day, yeah.
Yeah, a 10-minute handicap. She would be very close to that. Winning, I think. And then what do we got here? We got Yandoo.
Very close with Shore and Partners.
Here's a go. Yandoo Jack McCartney at the helm, then Shaw and Partners. Well, what a day they've had. Finished in 9th spot. So we haven't seen... Oh, we're coming now as Ballard Properties. They dropped back, didn't they? Because they were right up in that leading group.
I think they got a bit caught out with that ship movement, Pete, and didn't bounce back as well as some of the other teams did. So it's just a bit of a learning curve with the ship movements in a working harbour, what you've got to do.
In the background behind them with the white spinnaker, you can see the JJ Giltman champions, the Yandoo.
A human.
So Shaw and Partners across in 9th, and 10th will be Ballard. So I would think, roughly, looking at the handicap situation, I think probably Club Marine, No, Fisher Paykel will win the handicap today, I think. They're on the same handicap as Club Marine and Ballard Properties, so they will probably be sharing the spoils. That's Fisher Paykel, Club Marine and Ballard Properties, but I still think SIXT will have enough up their sleeve on points to secure the Spring Championship, but we'll let you know confirmation next week. We won't guess too much.
And then bear in mind those scratch results, the impact that could have on the club
overall
championship.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Henry Larkins will be very happy to bank a win in the club champs. And here comes Beck Hancock in the Ballard Property. Both the girls sailed exceptionally well today.
Yep. That's their best outing for the year. And limping home after Ballard in 11th spot will be Yandoo. You could say probably not the best result for their season, that is for sure. Goose was cooked after that first beat, Dole, wasn't it? They just kept header and just got
coin one of your favourites, Shippo, they stubbed their toe.
Absolutely, they stubbed their whole foot, not their toe, both feet. Anyway, they're coming, and then way in the distance, who we got, Jimmy? Is that the Royal Oak, and is that Vycobi?
Vycobi, Royal Oak, and...
Is there anyone else behind the island?
I don't think there's anyone behind the island, but there's Gotcha for Life, and there's the...
Killer Coffee.
Killer Coffee's still around somewhere, but you got Red Hill Estate, which is the...
Oh, yes.
Way up almost underneath Bunno's place, up towards Manly.
Right. Did we see the 18-footer bar and restaurant?
Yeah, they were heading back. They're still
they're going
upwind at the moment.
Oh, well, good on them.
That's not them near the island?
Yellow spinnaker, if they have a spinnaker up, Dole.
Oh, they're yellow. Yeah.
Okay, well, here's Yandoo. The bookie would have cleaned up today on Yandoo, but maybe not on others. But here's Yandoo jibing to come into the finish.
That's what you call a tough day at the office.
Yep, just easing over the line. Okay, well, as the day draws on and draws to an end here for the racing, I think we'll probably wrap it all up. And so this breeze is now probably as strong as it's been. So, Dole, with Balmain winning from Rag and Famish and Smeg, what are your thoughts on the day? A tricky one, wasn't it?
It certainly was. I think we've got some are they results that we've got there for the overall championship?
No, not really, no.
But, super impressed. I'm really happy for for Henry and the boys to get that win, especially being a club champs, and Ben Crawford too. You know, these young guys stepping up, and I know Henry's been around in the 18s for a little while, but fantastic to see Ben Crawford up at the front of the fleet and contesting for the lead. Really great to see.
Well, I think, as we said earlier, it was a day that was for those maybe lighter crews or younger crews or less experienced crews to excel, and they sure did, didn't they? It was a lovely day. Breeze really got about above 10 knots. Very shifty, though, certainly the first beat. And some of these young guys, they really picked it well, and it really made for a very exciting race. But in the end, Balmain was the clear winner from the Rags, Smeg, Lazarus, SIXT, Fisher Paykel, Club Marine, Yandoo, Shaw and Partners, Ballard, and then Yandoo 11th, and then still a couple to come. Who we got here, Jimmy? We got the Royal Oak
and Royal Oak and
Oak.
Gotcha for Life.
Okay, well, they're still to come home, and they're still just around Shark Island. So I think we'll say a farewell to you and hope you can join us next week from the Sail Media team. Are delighted bringing this to you, and as they do each week, we thank the team behind the scenes here, Chits and John O'Witty today, Sam and Dylan. Again, excellent coverage, so it makes our job a lot easier to talk to the pitchers when we can see them in such great style. So thank you to the team, thank you to all the viewers, and thank you for your comments. Much appreciated as always. So on behalf of Jimmy and Dolly, I'll say good afternoon from Sydney Harbour. It's Peter Shipway, and we look forward once more to your company, same time, same place, next Sunday. Good afternoon all.